Good evening, everyone. I'm SRINIVAS. I'm from first year MSc Physics department. Sorry for the delay. There's some technical difficulty which we managed to get in. So, okay. So we'll be giving a presentation on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So science and technology are more than a body of knowledge. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of skeptically interrogating the world around us with a fine understanding of human fallibilities. So, artificial intelligence has propelled human civilization at accelerating rates. So, before going to understand what is artificial intelligence, we have to understand what is intelligence. Let's say a kid writes a poem. Is that intelligent? Right? So, we'll see what actually is intelligence. Let's take any anthropology book which came in something like late 1950s. So it all the textbook generally says, okay, we are better than all animals on the planet because we have the ability to use tools. Right? That's what makes us unique. But we have seen that chimpanzees in Africa have the ability to make tools to extract termites. Right? And we have extraordinary architecture skills of many birds. So we can't boil down intelligence to something like using tools. So there was certain experiments going on with chimpanzees because they are the nearest uh, uh, organism which shares nearly 99.7% of our DNA. So there were a set of chimpanzees. So they took baby chimpanzees, they introduced them in the same house as baby humans. Now, both of them developed in the same environment, whereas by the time, by the time of 3 years, by the end of 3 years, so the chimpanzee was very well developed. It has extraordinary muscle strength. It can poop around and do all the things. Whereas baby human can blabber and go around talking. So a conclusion was drawn that okay, we are better than chimpanzees because we have the ability to communicate. We have the ability to talk and use our tools. So two scientists from University of Nevada named Gardners. So they conduct an experiment with a chimpanzee. Right? Instead of teaching them our language, because our language requires a special set of tools, which is our vocal cords. Right? Chimpanzees differ with that. So instead of teaching them our English language, so they taught them sign language. So they used American mute sign languages, and within the time of some like 2 years, they developed extraordinary communication skill. So the first time it was introduced to radish, right? It says bitter means sad, right? It showed that in mute language, that's sign language, right? Then it was introduced to duck, so it called it water bird, right? It's very similar to what we call in English. So intelligence and one more time when one of its caretakers was about to leave, right? It says me cry, cry me. So, ability to express emotions does not include as intelligence. So, intelligence has a very strong definition of analytical skills, then problem-solving techniques which are developed. So, that calls a civilization as an intelligent civilization. Now, coming to artificial intelligence, we take a look at Mr. John McCarthy, who is the founder, like he's the father of AI. So he defines AI as science and engineering of making intelligent machine, especially intelligent computer programs. So it can develop a program which can replicate itself, which can communicate with other servers and develop things. Then that's an AI. Okay, that was one of the primitive definitions, and we'll see the next one is history. So I won't tell the history of AI. I'm not going into anything which is very technical. Right? It's already a very late weekend. So I'll stick to something which is very abstract. So we look at the history. History here does not mean the history of AI. History is when AI created history. So the first one was created in 1997 when IBM's Deep Blue defeated Gary Kasparov, who's a Russian chess grandmaster. So until then there was no visible computer program that could defeat a chess grandmaster. And the second one is Amazon Alexa, like we all love Amazon Alexa, right? You can talk them. So that was the first development of natural language processing. So you can talk with the computer. Then we have Tesla Autopilot. So it's it's a advanced driver assistance system. So you can just leave the car to run on its own. Like you can have a pizza, sleep for a while on a highway. So this might be the future in India. So we'll take a small clip. We'll look at a small clip to understand this better. So yeah, I hope. Okay, the audio is not coming. It's fine. So this is IBM Deep Blue, and it's okay. You can mute it. I'll narrate it. Okay, so this is Russian chess grandmaster Mr. Garry Kasparov. So he's playing against Deep Blue, and the guy is just like hands and legs of the AI. Okay, so the actual thinking goes in the machine. He's just doing what the machine suggests him to do. So you can see the disapproval in his face, where he actually knows that it's the first time when a computer defeated a human. Right. So you can see the sense of disappointment in his eyes. So he's said to be an equal to Vishwanath Anand. Right. So who's one of the legends in chess today. Now we'll see Amazon Alexa. So Amazon Alexa has the ability to control things around us. So it's called Internet of Things. So we are living in a world of 5G where everything around us is connected through internet. So you can connect your AC through internet, or you can connect your light, right? And you might have seen that, okay, the lights turned off when she said it. And this is Tesla Autopilot. You can see that, okay, there was a small river here, which was tapped twice. Now there's a small blue button here, which indicates that the machine is in autopilot mode. So you can see that there's no leg on the pedal. So this is the future of AI. So this is where one is the first breakthrough in AI, one in the first breakthrough in natural language processing, and first breakthrough in computer vision, where the computer can actually see, detect problems, and recognize problems. Now we'll look at some of the applications. So the first application is in military. So we are familiar with the war which is going on between Ukraine and Russia. So something like in 2014 or before 2014, so the Russian tanks are extremely powerful. Trust me, they are extremely powerful. So it's nearly impossible to destroy a tank. So now the Ukrainian government has acquired new technology called Javelin from USA, and there's an equivalent from France called Fallujah FH85, something like that. So it can damage an entire tank. It can instantly destroy it. We'll see how it is done. And the second application will be in space science, and the third will be in education. Now look at that. So that's javelin which is being thrown at a target. You can see that the javelin is actually hitting the target. Go back. Okay. You can see that the javelin is actually hitting the target from the top. Right. So this is how it works. So initially the javelin has to be there's an IR sensor, right? It has to be tagged with a vehicle which you want to destroy. So first we'll tag that vehicle. In 30 seconds it will tag the vehicle, and then it's more or less end game. Right? It will destroy that no matter where it goes. Like you go 15 kilometers off the target, right? It will follow you and it will hunt you down. So that's how powerful it is. So it has missile guidance system, which will track the object which is guided, and it destroys it from the top. Remember, the top of the tank is the weakest point, where it's something like 14 tons of weight. It contains ammunition, but the top is actually the weakest. You cannot penetrate the armor of the tank from the side or from the bottom. So even not with your something like you can throw a grenade inside and a fire grenade, because tanks have fire suppression systems which can immediately suppress all the fire. So this actually uses molten copper. First, the molten copper will penetrate through the top of the tank. Then it will create an opening for the secondary explosion, which will actually destroy the tank. So the tank will flip off once it destroys. Now the second one is in space science. You can see this is Falcon 9 of SpaceX. So one of the first self-landing rockets which we have built as a civilization. So you can see that, okay, there's a reverse entry burn, and everything is controlled by onboard computers. So there's no real, because you can't control these machines in real time. So it has to be controlled by onboard radars, cameras, and telemetry systems, which can actually, you can see that the flaps have come down, and it's a perfect landing. Okay. So this is where space science comes into existence. Now coming to is intelligence is something which has boggled philosophers for a long time. One of the things is, are we alone in the universe? Like AI can help us discover things. Now, like our lifespan is very limited. Let's say we have 100 years of lifespan. The nearest star to us is Alpha Centauri, which is something like 4 light years away. That means even if you travel at the speed of light, which is literally not possible, it will take 4 years for you to travel there. So if you take the fastest ship which is available on Earth, which is Falcon Heavy, it will take nearly 50,000 years for you to go to the nearest star. Now imagine exploring the different galaxies. So we have used artificial intelligence in something like New Horizon and other rovers which can actually go beyond solar system and explore things. And coming to intelligence, the only kind of intelligence which we have exposed so far is the human intelligence. So, like at the end of the day, we have to question who we are. Like we are biochemical bag, which is made up of biomolecules, right? So let's make a rough comparison with ourselves with the universe. So the universe has the most abundant element in the universe is hydrogen, right? And later comes helium, which is basically inert. We don't have to go there. Then comes carbon, oxygen. Then we have carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen, and some other trace elements like sodium, etc. So if you take a star, that's like the most abundant is hydrogen, and then we have helium. We leave that apart. Then we'll take carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Now we'll compare ourselves with that. Now, so most of our body is made up of water, right? Like we'll do quantitative analysis, okay, not qualitative. So if you say how many like hydrogen molecules are there, right? We have the highest amount of molecules in our body is hydrogen molecules, like H. So that's one. Like highest abundant material in the universe is hydrogen. Highest abundant materials in our body is hydrogen. Then comes helium, we don't care, right? Then comes carbon, we are carbohydrates, right? Then comes nitrogen and oxygen and so on. So when you look at it, okay, we are composed of the same things as the universe. So when you think of it like that, you can say, okay, we don't live in this universe. The universe actually lives inside us because we are made up of the same kind of materials which make up this universe, right? So let's say one of the interesting things as an application is, how many of you have heard of Europa? Small raise of hand. Yeah. Yes. 2 minutes. Okay. How many of you have heard of Europa? Okay, none of you. Okay. Europa is a moon of Saturn. So it's an icy moon of Saturn, which means okay, the top layer is completely filled with ice. Now let's say you go to Norway or Sweden or Ireland, and you go to a lake in there. Like during winter, it will be completely frozen, right? And underneath that, you can find liquid water. And wherever there's water, there's life. You take you take some water from the pothole, like put it in your petri dish and look it under the microscope. You'll find life. Similarly, we have under Europa, so there's a thick layer of ice. Underneath that, because of the core temperature of the moon itself, there's a layer of water which is between those extremities, right? So the problem is this: the thickness of that ice is 10 kilometers. So you have to drill something like 10 kilometers, put a camera down there, and you should actually check, okay, what comes up and licks up the lens of the camera. We might find exclusive life there, but it's not humanly possible because we cannot sustain that environment. So we need artificial intelligence which can do that stuff for us. So from here on, I would like to ask my friend Chandramouli to continue.
5 minutes is left.
Okay. Hi, good evening. My name is Chandramouli, and since our topic is about artificial intelligence and machine learning plays an important part in artificial intelligence. So I would like to begin that topic by asking a question. So can anybody tell us what object is this? What object is this? Okay. Pencil. So okay. What object is this? Pen. And this one is pencil. Pencil, and how did you tell? How did you know this was a pencil and this was a pen? Why not this is a pencil and this is a pen? How did you know this can only be called as a pencil? Why? So here comes learning. So from our childhood to now, we have experienced a lot and we have seen different things. So using those experiences, we can tell that this one is a pencil and this one is a pen. So similar to this, if you need an AI to work similar to us, so we have intelligence. So using our intelligence and experience, we tell this as a pencil, right? So for an AI, that is artificial intelligence, to differ things or tell this is a pencil or a pen, we need machine learning. As we learn, we need the AI to learn something. So that is done through machine learning. So machine learning can be done like if I say this or ask this, what is this? You told immediately this was a pencil, right? Machine or artificial intelligence cannot immediately tell that. So for that to tell if that is a pencil or a pen, you need a lot of data. Data is like different kinds of pencil, different lengths of pencil, different colors of pencil. We give input to the artificial intelligence and then it gives an output telling that this is a pencil. Similarly, even a pen can be, the artificial intelligence can tell that it is a pen only because with a lot of data. So there was an example of auto drive, right? Tesla's auto drive. So how is it possible? Possible ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we need to input a lot of data. Like this is the traffic lights, it should go straight. If there is a car in front of you, you need to brake or you need to slow down. Or if you need to take a right, then you have to go. If there is any obstruction, you have to stop, wait, then take a right. These are all called data, right? We feed it into the AI. So then the AI can accurately give us an output. What is that output? Like launching the missile or autopilot of a car, and then okay, this comes the education sector. Let us watch this video. So now, what does this video tell us is that the headband tells whether you are concentrating or not. So if it is white, it tells you that you are concentrating. If it is blue, it tells you that it's not concentrating. Those kind of stuff are done through data. When you feed the data into the AI, it gives such results. So this is a face recognition camera, and it tells the name, age, and what child is that and which class the child is studying. It can only done through data. Different photos of the child is uploaded into the server, and then the AI computes it and gives an output. That is what is face recognition. The mobile, when you give it, it can tell that it is your face. Only it is possible because it has patternized your face. Where you are itkondo, you go and you cannot unlock the face or you cannot unlock the mobile, right? Using a different user. It can only be done through the same user. So the next will be continued by my friend SHREYAS.
Time is up. Please conclude.
So, as my friends explained about the in the uses of military education and other sectors, in briefing, it can be also implemented in the medicine, entertainment, and searching. And in medicine, we are going to the nano tablets which can go inside your body and detect where defects or any injuries happened to the internal organs without any operations. And the main thing comes here is entertainment. So we know entertainment is the biggest business, and in the current situation we are using our smartphones with 4G technologies with the varieties of AIs, apps included in that. So it is a very important thing that who is controlling that and why we should be the self-aware of using AI. So I hope you all have seen the film The Robo, right? So if we give the complete freedom to any machine to attain its own decision-making intelligence, we may lose our control as the humans. Even though we have tremendous intelligence level, if we hand over our control to the any machine, it may lose the consciousness and the focus on what we are supposed to do in our real life, which comes in the virtual reality world. So once we start enjoying the virtual reality is nothing but what we cannot enjoy or we cannot feel in the real world. We are supposed to get that through the virtual reality. So that is the main defect where the AI comes, and it is in our hand how we controlling those AIs with our own awareness, and it should be implemented through the institutions, education institutions, to make it possible to in the affordable courses and the prices to get those courses, and how to use in an effective and positive way of implementation. So here is some applications where we can apply the AI and machine learning, intelligent problem solving, analysis of proteins, education, spam filters. And spam filters, we all know, if we have any spam mails or any, like for example, our Truecaller, you can automatically block any unknown numbers there. And it is there. So we know when the transistor invented, it changed the whole computer world, and where the internet changed the connectivity throughout the world, and AI is going to change the human possibilities of reaching the things in our future. So thank you all.